The paradox we are about to explore is called the calendar paradox. It begins quietly with the turn of a page, that gentle flip signaling a new month born from the endless continuum of time. We mark these passages with dates, deadlines, birthdays, anchors in a formless sea. But what if the relentless flow of time refuses these divisions? Galaxies spiral unbothered by Mondays, atoms pulse regardless of October's arrival. Yet we insist on slicing this smooth river into boxes, creating a structured illusion of order. The calendar paradox reveals a subtle tension, our need to measure something boundless, to carve meaning from seamless moments, even if that meaning is a delicate illusion we willingly embrace. Time moves without pause, flowing like a perpetual river indifferent to human constructs. It does not reset with the stroke of midnight, nor does it stop to honor the start of a new year. We, however, pivot our lives around these invented landmarks. Quarters and weeks, months and minutes become the fragile scaffolding of our existence. This structure allows us to plan, reflect, and coordinate, painting order onto chaos. Yet it also binds us tightly, convincing us that progress depends on numbers shifting, that change waits for calendars to strike fresh pages. In this dance between endless flow and rigid measurement lies the essence of the paradox, urging us to ask whether the boxes shape time or time shapes the boxes. Isabella sits at her window, the pale moonlight casting gentle shadows across her cluttered desk. She watches the calendar pinned to the wall, an array of squares filled with handwritten notes, birthdays, and deadlines. Tonight, the page will turn again. A new month will arrive with silent ceremony, and a fresh start will be symbolized by a clean, white square. Yet Isabella feels a quiet dissonance within. The arrival of this new month arrives like a breathless pause in her restless mind. She wonders why this simple marking on the paper carries such weight, as if a number alone could hold power over her life's unfolding moments. Isabella's days are woven with the rhythms of the calendar, each morning shadowed by tasks she has promised herself she will begin next week. Yet the ticking of the clock feels unyielding, its hands sweeping forward regardless of her hesitation. The calendar boxes dictate when she will start living, placing soft but firm fences around her dreams. The pressure mounts quietly, a creeping sense of falling behind, not because time has changed, but because the numbers suggest she should have moved faster. The paradox wraps around her heart, the invisible line between what is now and what the calendar says ought to be, a delicate tension never quite resolved. As weeks illuminate and fade, Isabella notices the peculiar gravity that December holds, a time heavy with reflection and regret, although the days themselves flow unaltered. The calendar's frames create landmarks in her psyche, shaping hopes and fears with invisible brushstrokes. She delays decisions, awaiting the first Monday to inspire action, only to be met repeatedly with the same waiting. The paradox reveals itself in the way these numbers accumulate, not as markers of time's truth, but as prisons that whisper impatience. Isabella becomes entwined in this quiet struggle, caught between the continuous dance of moments and the rigid choreography of dates. One evening, in the stillness between days, Isabella finds a journal beside an unlit candle. She traces the pages softly, writing not the dates dictated by calendars, but the moments that lingered tenderly in her memory, the stolen laughter under dim streetlights, the quiet breath of dawn brushing her skin. The calendar's tight grip loosens as she embraces the timeless flow waiting beneath the numbered walls. She recalls the paradox at the heart of her experience. Calendars exist to track time, yet she has let time serve the calendar, bending life around its square shapes, rather than letting life flow freely through unbroken moments. In surrendering the rigid calendar's demands, Isabella begins to perceive time not as segmented boxes, but as a soft, endless stream woven from countless moments, each glowing with its own quiet significance. The paradox shifts. What once seemed a trap now reveals itself as a choice. The structure we create can either confine or cradle us, depending on how we hold it. The realization unfolds gently like candlelight flickering in a dark room. Perhaps the calendar's power lies not in imprisoning time, but in offering a delicate frame around the infinite, a way to see moments differently without losing their essence. Isabella sees herself differently now, not as a prisoner of deadlines, but as a wanderer in a vast, flowing landscape. The calendar remains, but its grip has softened, no longer a ruler, but a companion. She notices that the urge to wait for the right day to begin living falters, replaced by soft whispers urging her to begin anywhere, anytime. The paradox no longer mocks her, but invites a gentle dance, embracing the structure without surrendering to it, letting moments ripple beyond their numbered borders. In this delicate balance, time stretches open, revealing its true nature. Not a series of boxes to fill, but a boundless web of possibility. As Isabella prepares for sleep in the muted glow of a vintage lamp, she contemplates the paradox one last time. The calendar, a fragile invention, shapes her experience as much as she shapes it. What if this framework disappeared altogether? Would time lose meaning? Or would it return to its purest form as a flow of moments, intimate and indivisible? In the quiet between heartbeat and breath, she feels the truth ripple softly. Time never pauses for our schedules, never waits for new pages to turn. It simply is, unyielding and eternal, inviting her to step fully into each instant, without hesitation or delay. So as you lie now in the lingering stillness before sleep, ask yourself, if the calendar vanished, what day would it be? Would you feel older or the same? Would you follow numbers or moments? The calendar paradox asks not just how we measure time, but how we live within it. Could freedom reside not in resetting dates or reaching milestones, but in embracing the seamless, soft flow of uncounted, unmarked moments? What might it mean to live beyond the boxes, to awaken fully to the present, where every breath is a chance to begin anew, quietly and without limit?